Hi guys, welcome to episode 5, I think. That's exciting, kind of crazy. And in this episode, we're talking about architecture. Now, shocker, some of you guys may not know this, but I'm American. Crazy, I know. And America doesn't really have. Okay, pause. America's got a lot of different architectural styles for sure, but because we're such a new country, we don't have a lot of the same really ornate stuff that a lot of European cities have. And that isn't to say that America doesn't have like some really cool architecture, because it does. But your average street in the more touristy parts of Europe is going to be prettier than your average street in America. That is just kind of how it is. And that was one of the things that really excited me about moving to Europe, to live in a place that is not only beautiful landscape wise, because I'm gonna be so real, my hometown absolutely gorgeous when it comes to nature. We got mountains, we got sunsets, it's great. And like my hometown does have a pretty unique architectural style as well, but it's not like this. So I was excited for something new and to really immerse myself in a city that's just so picturesque. So yeah, no hate to American architectural styles. When I went to New York City, I was blown away by the architecture there. Love New York. I really want to go back. But I think here in Europe, it's just a little bit different, especially in Madrid. And so I was really excited to show you guys some of the buildings that I see. I went to a lot of the like major touristy hotspot places and looked a little bit up about them. I also just got a thing. I got a gimbal. So I'm filming this right now on a tripod. Guess what, guys? We're leveling up in this world. I have mics, I have a tripod, I have a gimbal. It's great. And I was still like kind of trying to figure out settings on this. So if the footage in this is a little bit off, that's why. Yeah. I mean, this is only my 5th ever video, so it's gonna be a little shaky, might be a little bit fast at points, but we'll see what I can edit down. But no, Madrid's just so gorgeous. And one thing that I love about this series is that it forces me to like get out and actually go and do stuff and see stuff, because to be honest, like my school days are so exhausting, and the center is kind of far from where I'm at here. So I need a bit of a reason to like go and explore. So I did. I did just that. I went and explored and it was great. So with that being said, let's get into it. Side note, if this video is a little bit more unhinged, that's because it's finals week. And I may or may not make a video on my experience with the school system here later, but if you know me in real life, you probably know that school here has not been the most enjoyable experience. No fault of Spain or the school that I'm going to, it's just, yeah. Yeah, finals is stressful. So first I went to Teatro Real, the big opera house here in Madrid, and it's right by the Royal Palace. And it's really, really pretty. As far as facts go, it originally opened in 1850, but has gone through some major renovations. The teatro that we know and love today was restored and remodeled in 1997, so it's relatively recent, but still gorgeous. It has 2 architects, each one dedicated to a different phase of the theater, the first of which has the most Spanish name I have ever heard. His name is Jose Manuel González Valcárcel, and he did the first phase of the theater. The second guy was this guy named Francisco Rodriguez Parte Arroyo, and he did the second phase. It also houses one of the most technologically advanced stages in Europe, although I didn't go in and see the stage. Then we're moving on to the Royal Palace. I think I mentioned this before, but Spain does still have a royal family. They do have their palace. I don't think they're there all that often. It's really more for show and for tours, but it's still really cool. So the Royal Palace actually used to be an old Moorish fortress until 1734, and King Philip V ordered a palace to be built where the fortress once stood. It was designed by Italian architect Filippo Juvara, who was inspired by French Baroque palaces like Versailles. And as someone who has, luckily enough, been to both, I definitely see that inspiration in this royal palace as well. But he died before construction could begin. This guy named Giambattista Sacchetti took over. Architects have the weirdest names, man. And he kept the Baroque style. Then in 1760, another guy named Francesco Sabatini finished the design and added in a neoclassical style. The palace took 18 years to build and was completed in 1764. It now has over 3,000 rooms and is available to tour. So next we've got Gran Via. I didn't actually go down Gran Via, but I wanted to go to the Metropolis building because if you look up photos of Madrid, you will see this building. It's everywhere. For good reason. It's quite pretty. It was designed by French architects Jules and Raymond Favier in 1905 for an insurance company, which would explain the Metropolis sign on it. It was built between 1907 and 1910, along with the rest of the first stretch of Gran Via. And from esmadrid.com, on their little touristy website, it says that this sumptuous construction provides over the beginning of the Gran Via with a neo-Renaissance facade of Corinthian columns and a slate dome with golden incrustations on which a statue of Victoria rises, which used to be a phoenix, symbol of the insurance company that initially occupied the building. So, yeah, there's that. On to Puerta de Alcalá, which is the Arc, essentially. This comes from Spain.info. This is one of the most well-known monuments in Madrid, built between 1774 and 1778 under the orders of King Carlos III. It was designed by Francisco Sabatini and erected as a triumphal arch to celebrate the arrival of the monarch at the capital. The gate is 19.5 meters tall and is elegant and well-proportioned. 19.5 meters is approximately 64 feet. Next up, we've got Plaza Mayor, or Big Plaza. Main plaza, essentially. It was built in 1620. It, again, has a Baroque style, which makes sense. Funnily enough, it's got quite the history. It actually used to be a bull ring. Then, during the Spanish Inquisitions, it was a place for executions. Then people celebrated carnivals there, allegedly. Now, it's a touristy square featuring a bunch of different restaurants and events. When I went there, as you'll see in the footage, there was like a music festival or concert, something like that, being set up. So that's why some of the buildings was blocked off, but that's okay. It was designed by Juan de Herrera after being commissioned by Philip III. Very pretty. I quite like Plaza Mayor. Next up, we've got the Cibeles Palace. I often get Instagram posts about Madrid on my For You page, which makes sense. But there's one slideshow of photos that I believe is taken from a TikTok video that goes around these accounts a lot, that talks about whoever this person is, their honest opinions of Madrid. And they say that the Cibeles Palace is the most beautiful piece of architecture in Madrid. And yeah, it's pretty gorgeous. It's pretty exquisite. Cibeles Palace was built in the early 1900s and was designed by architects Antonio Palacios and Joaquin Otamendi. It has a classical style, but for the time, a modern edge, whatever that means. And funnily enough, it was originally built to be the head of the National Postal Service and was called the Telecommunications Palace. This wasn't like a Congress building or a Parliament office or, another sort of palace. It was a post office. It is the prettiest post office that I have ever seen. And that's what I appreciate so much about European architecture. Because, America, our post offices do not look like that, let me tell you. And according to centrocentro.org, in 1993, the building was declared a place of cultural interest in the category of monuments. And then, finally, we've got Retiro Park, but specifically the monument to Alfonso XIII. Because I think architecturally speaking, that's one of the prettiest parts of Retiro. So it was designed by Jose Gracias Riera, and it began construction on May 18th, 1902, the day after Alfonso XIII was sworn in as king. All in all, I think Madrid is absolutely gorgeous. it's got some really just picturesque streets. There's so many buildings that I haven't mentioned in this video that you may see in my footage or just other videos around that aren't really anything important, or at least it's not a palace or government building. It's just a really pretty building. And I love that. I love that part of Europe and that style. Because I feel like in America, and especially where I'm from, you don't really get that. America has a very modern sense of style, but I like the ornate stuff. I like the over the top stuff. And I feel like Europe has a lot of that. And Madrid just has some really, really pretty streets. No buildings that seem out of the ordinary, but just the way the apartments look. It's gorgeous. It really is. But yeah, no, that's gonna be about it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to be notified every single time I upload, which at this point is Sunday at 8 p.m. Central European time, aka noon Mountain time, aka 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for watching. Next week's video, I believe, is about weather, so that'll be really cool. And yeah, that's all I got. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!